Just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Digimon Adventure 2020, Episode 3. And this is the last reaction to Digimon Adventure 2020 for the foreseeable future. Because Toei Animation has put both the Japanese release and I guess there's going to be an English simulcast for it as well at some point, starting at some point. But both of those have been put on hold. And it's an indefinite hiatus. We don't know how long it's going to last, and the reason is because of the entire COVID-19 pandemic going on, which is reasonable, but it's also sad because it's like we got 3 episodes in and then we put it on hold. You know, instead of like putting it on hold from the beginning and just waiting, you know, like ReZero Season 2 did. So it's like we got this, like, we almost got teased with it, you could say. And it's been really good so far. The first 2 episodes have been really good. Like, someone put it in a way that probably is the best way to describe it. I forgot who it was. It was someone I watched a video of. But it's like, was it Giguk? No, I don't think it was Giguk. No, it was Mother's Basement, I think. I think it was Mother's Basement. He put up a video talking about, like, anime from this season or something. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was him. But either way, whoever it was said that Digimon Adventure 2020, at least so far, is as good as you remember the original Digimon Adventure being. Because obviously, the original Digimon Adventure doesn't hold up the best nowadays. It's still good, but you can definitely see a lot of the flaws more nowadays, like with the animation, with the writing, with some of the voice acting and all that. Of course, I mean, that just tends to happen with a lot of older anime. But you kind of look back favorably on it because of nostalgia glasses. You have those nostalgia glasses on, and so you're kind of blinded by that almost, and even if you do acknowledge the flaws, you kind of don't care, because that nostalgia is so strong for the series that it kind of clouds those flaws from affecting you, and affecting your enjoyment of the series. And so it's like you automatically see the series, if you're a big fan of Digimon growing up and everything, you automatically see the series as being something amazing. And again, Digimon Adventure 2020 is as good, as legitimately good as you remember the original being with those nostalgia glasses. Basically, it's like this is what the nostalgia is making us feel for the original. That's how good this new one is. It's so tightly written, the characters are so well introduced and characterized. They really expertly handled the show don't tell method. It's just fantastically handled all the way through. Of course, adapting our war game arc right from the beginning is a little weird, because it's like just introducing Omnimon right from the start. But it's like, we'll see what they do with it, and if as long as they handle it well, as long as it ends up going somewhere good, then fine. I'm personally thinking Omnimon will still not be like a very common, constant thing in the series. Omnimon will still be like only very rare occasions, like very final boss fights and stuff. It's probably going to be something that they maybe even try to bring up again, but aren't able to, like Tai and Yamato, or Matt, if you want to go by the English names. Tai and Matt. They'll probably try to bring it up again when they're in a tough spot, but they won't be able to. It'll be like something that can only come if it's like that last desperation moment. That's what I'm thinking, at least. that seems to be the most logical way to go about it. We'll see, we'll see. It did shock me last time when they brought in Omnimon this early, because Omnimon was only brought about in our war game, in the original Japanese releases, and in the American releases, the Digimon movie, which was a combination of our war game and a bunch of other short films. So the point is, it was a while after Digimon Adventure originally started, either way. And so it's like it felt built up to. It felt like it was natural progression. This, we're getting it before we even meet Metal Garurumon and War Greymon. And it's like, okay, that's different. Because usually that's what the Omnimon is. A DNA digivolution of those two Digimon. So it's like getting that without even introducing them. It's like clearly Omnimon isn't falling within the same rules as in the original series, which is interesting. They're definitely doing things differently. And I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad because we don't know yet. We don't know how it's going to fully be handled yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, like I said, this is the final episode for a while. I don't know how long Toei's going to hold off on this. They're also putting off other shows, like One Piece even. Yeah, One Piece too, which is like, that's a big one for them. So it's like at the moment, we have no idea when it's going to come back. Which sucks, but not really much we can do about it. So, yeah. But because of that, we do need something to take this spot on the reactions, in the reaction list. So I had been thinking about it, and I mentioned this in another video already, but I want to mention it again here. We are going to be replacing Digimon Adventure 2020 for the time being. We will come back to it. It's not being dropped. We are going to come back to Digimon Adventure 2020 when it comes back. But in the meantime, we are going to replace it with glitch text. Now, glitch text might not last long enough, but it might last long enough to at least get us to the summer season of anime, in which case, if Digimon Adventure 2020 is not back at that point, we'll probably then start reacting to ReZero Season 2, which is set to come out in the summer. Because I wanted to react to that anyways. So, yeah, that will probably be the next one on the list in this slot. If Digimon doesn't come back before then or at that time. But yeah, glitch text, I'll talk more about that when we actually get to the first reaction of that. There are a couple things I do know going into that, but again, I'll talk about that then. So yeah, it's just like, with this series so far, with this reboot, it's been really good. And if this is going to be the episode to leave us off for a bit with this hiatus, I'm really hoping it's going to be, like, amazing. I don't expect any other big Digi-Destined stuff to happen. Like, we got a little glimpse of that last time with TK and Kairi. Or Hikari, or Kari, not Kairi. Hikari and Takeru with the Japanese names. I'm trying to use, I'm like using both the Japanese names and the English names because it's, as I've said before, I'm used to the English names. When I watched this growing up, it was in the dub. So I'm still trying to get used to their Japanese names. It's the same kind of thing with Pokemon. Like, a lot of the Pokemon have different names in Japanese, and it's like, oh, that's weird. That's weird. Why is Kangaskhan not Kangaskhan? But in all seriousness, yeah. In the last episode, we saw a little glimpse of Takeru and Hikari, and the feathers floating down to them and everything. And it was kind of like obvious that they were the ones who helped their siblings, their older siblings, end up being able to DNA digivolve into Omnimon. We don't know the exact nature of how they helped, but it definitely has to do something with their own future Digi-Destined crests and all coming to them. I can never remember like everyone's crest. I know Izzy is wisdom. I know Ty is courage. I don't remember the others though. I just don't. I've always that's always been something I've always had trouble remembering, and I don't know why. Of all the things in the series. Um, but yeah, so it's like we started to see a glimpse of other Digidestined, and then obviously Izzy too, um, getting their crests and everything. But we're just kind of glimpsing at it right now. Izzy will most likely be the next one. They're clearly pacing this out with the Digidestined being introduced in this version, unlike in the original, where they just kind of all got them at the same time. They're clearly pacing it out differently, so I'm thinking if we're gonna have it like be like, oh, a couple at a time or one or two at a time, Izzy will be the next. It just makes sense because he technically already has his Digivice. The only thing is he doesn't have his partner Digimon, so he'll be next for sure. Ty and Matt were first, which makes sense. Ty is the main character, and Matt has always been his rival. So it makes sense that those two would be first. I'm still thinking Kari's going to be last because she's always been last in the original. So it's like it just kind of makes sense to me. But I mean, I don't know. They might do something very different in this one. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking Izzy will be next. I don't know if that will happen by the end of this arc, though. Because I'm calling this obviously the War Game arc. I don't know if this is going to happen by the end of it. Obviously, our heroes are going to win and everything. Omnimon's going to defeat the virus Digimon. I think the most likely scenario would be that at the very end of the arc and starting going into the next one, that's when Tentamon will appear. That's when Izzy will get Tentamon and all. But it'll be like right at the end, basically, after everything has already been defeated. That's kind of how I guess with it. But yeah, overall, like I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait to see this fight between Omnimon and the virus Digimon. By the way, I don't know what its name is. It hasn't been said for obvious reason. I don't know if like it's been like revealed on social media or by the writers or whatnot. So I can't even say on that. But yeah, it's like I'm just gonna keep calling it the virus Digimon because I mean that's what it is. It is a virus Digimon. But yeah, so I can't wait to see this fight. This is gonna be awesome with the new animation and everything. It looks good. It looks good so far. So either way, we should probably get this started. Just get into this and hope for the best. Hope for a great last episode before this hiatus begins. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I kind of figured it was going to end there once like we saw the title and everything. It kind of implied we were going to the digital world and everything. And especially once we actually got there, it's like, yeah, it's clearly going to end like right after like we get there. Like it's going to introduce us briefly to it. Trying to remember from the first one, when they first went to the digital world, was it Kawagamon they met? It was like this big, like, bug-like Digimon. I think it was Kawagamon, but I'm not 100% on that. But I think that was, like, the first enemy Digimon they came across when they first entered in the original series. It's been a while, to be fair, so I'm just trying to go off of memory. Now, some notes here. We got glimpses at other characters in this one. We had seen brief glimpses of them before, but we got a little more. We heard TK's voice, Takeru. We got a little more of Joe. We got to hear him speak. We got to see him interacting with others. we were introduced to Sora, and at the end there, we saw when Tai was running, we saw her turn and start to follow him. So it's very clear she's going to at least be in the digital world too, and Izzy will likely be there, I feel. Um, yeah, I'm very excited. But it also makes it really suck worse that we're going on hiatus now, because it's like, who knows how long we're going to have to wait for more? Who knows? It might come back in the summer. It might not come back until the fall. It sucks really badly that we have to wait now, because I said it in the pre-thoughts, but not only is it just like giving us kind of this tease at this series before putting on hiatus, but it does so after that episode, after finishing off the war game opening arc. Sure, like finish off the opening arc and right before we start the next one. I get that. But with that big of a cliffhanger, the arrival in the digital world, it's like, I want to see it so bad. Also, speaking of, when it got into the digital world, when Tai was looking at the water, it looked like it was digital. Like it looked like it was made up of like little blocks of digital information, which I really like, actually. In the original, the digital world was very much realistic looking. Like the trees looked like trees, the water looked like water. But in this, if you look close enough at this stuff, it has like that little like code looking texture to it. And I like that. I think that fits. It's really neat. It's a unique way, but it still looks like everything. Like when it panned out and everything and showed the digital world more as a whole, the water still looked like water. The plant life still looked like plant life. Like, yeah, it still looked like all of that. But like, again, when you get closer, you could see it's made up more of like that digital style, that texture and everything. And it's like, that's a cool idea. That makes sense too. Though, to be fair, that might just be because he had just entered and everything, so, to be fair. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see where that goes now. But prior to this, let's start with the big stuff at the beginning. So Omnimon, the fight between Omnimon and the virus Mega Level Digimon. So as I said during the reaction, yeah, Omnimon is a Mega Level Digimon comprised of two other Megas. And for the longest time in the original series, he was considered the strongest Digimon. It was kind of one of the big points of Omnimon, being just this insane DNA Digivolution of two already extremely strong Digimon. So it's like it was a big deal. And then, of course, as the series would progress and everything, and with the Digimon Adventure Tri movies and whatnot, it was made clear that there was higher forms. But Omnimon also had a couple other different forms, including one that is like the new strongest at that point. I don't remember exactly what it was called, because I haven't even seen all of the Tri movies. I've only heard stuff and seen stuff here and there. Because honestly, the Tri movies, from what I did see, were disappointing. They just weren't that interesting to me. They weren't. I kind of lost interest in them. I'll probably end up finishing them at some point, but it's like they're not like as good, in my opinion. I've watched the Digimon movie from 2000, the one that's comprised of all the different short films. I've watched that again and again throughout the years, and that one continues to be as good. Not just for the war games, our war game arc in it, but every part of it is just still as good. But no, Tri is just, I don't know. And I don't know how Last Evolution Kisara is, because obviously I haven't seen that. I just know about it. But yeah, either way. It's just, it was a really cool fight to see Omnimon take on this virus Digimon and everything. And it was a bit one-sided for the most part. Like, yeah, the virus Digimon did fight back, but it never stood a chance. You could tell that right away, that it wasn't going to stand a chance. Just Omnimon's introduction proves that. It's just the way it appeared and everything. It's like you instantly know. It's like, oh yeah, this battle's basically over. Um, and the ending of the battle, like when Omnimon impaled the virus Digimon, almost seemed a little anticlimactic when watching. It's like, oh, it's just over like that, just that simple. But when you think about it, it's like, no, no, that actually makes sense. It's Omnimon. um, at least for a good portion of time, Omnimon will still be considered the strongest Digimon in terms of this continuity. Until we see something stronger, and that Omnimon clearly has trouble fighting. Omnimon is going to be that kind of last-ditch effort Digivolution in order to take down the really strong enemies. Look, I think it's going to be clear that that's what they're going for. At least I hope so. But yeah, so they defeat the virus Digimon, but the missile is still en route. So they have to stop it somehow, and somehow they do. I guess in this world, in this universe, technology is just far more advanced than it is in real life. The missile, it's like in real life, like I may be wrong about this because I don't know like a lot about this kind of stuff, but aren't missiles just like, okay, it's launched, it's targeted for a certain area, but once it's launched, it's going. Isn't that kind of how, unless you intercept it in the air and blow it up that way? Isn't that kind of how it is? It's like the missile's launched, it's on that path. You can't, it can't just be stopped like that. But they mess around with it on the net. Omnimon breaks through the programming and stuff and turns the thing around. Like it's basically coming down and then it like just whoops right back going up, goes into the atmosphere and blows up high up in the atmosphere. It's like, what? that was almost silly. Just the way it just kind of turned around. I mean, we didn't even fully see it. It kind of happened off screen, but it's like it's going down, and then the next second you see it going up, like at a lower angle. So it's like, ooh, what? I don't know. Maybe in this world, missiles actually have like high-tech guiding systems in the missile that you can actually apparently change. I don't know. But they did start asking questions about this, like why was Tokyo specifically targeted? The only thing I can think of is because they were there, that they were being attacked, which was brought up, that they were the ones who were trying to stop the virus Digimon, so they were being targeted specifically. But it could also just be that could have been the plan, to take out the Digidestin in the first place. Like they might have already been known about. Clearly, Agumon knew about Tai ahead of time, which we know, like that was in the original too, I believe. And you can presume that Gabumon, which Garurumon evolves or digivolves from, you can presume knew about Matt before they actually officially met as well. So it's like, does that mean whoever is like behind all of this knew about the Digidestin too? And if so, how? Because it's like, to my knowledge, like for example, using Agumon as an example, Agumon only knew Tai. That was the only one he actually knew ahead of time because they have that connection. So it's like, how can someone else know them too? There could be a reason, there could be something. It's just like, And if so, that's like, who is it? Is it Devimon? Is it Myotismon? If this is happening this way, who would be pulling the strings? It's a really fascinating question that's going to definitely be delved into in the future here. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild to think about where this is going to go at this point. But I'm excited. I'm very excited. This has been a fantastic start to this series. And I just really wish we could get into more of it. And this hiatus wasn't happening. This really sucks ass. But I don't blame them. I don't blame Toei. Like, they're doing what they have to do to keep themselves safe in this situation within the entire COVID-19 pandemic. So I don't blame them. It just sucks. um, but yeah, as I said in the pre-thoughts, moving forward, we will get back to Digimon. We will get back to this series when it comes back. But in the meantime, we're going to do some other stuff in this slot. So for now, we are going to fill this slot with glitch text on Netflix. That should lead us up into the summer season of anime, at which point we'll get to ReZero, provided that still comes out in the summer season. We'll get to ReZero season 2. And then hopefully Digimon comes soon after that, so we can get back to that ASAP. If Digimon comes back before ReZero, then we'll prioritize Digimon because we've already gotten into it. Obviously, that just makes the most sense. If Digimon and ReZero come back around the same time, we'll still prioritize Digimon. So yeah, it's just, we'll have to kind of see where it goes. But either way, this is gonna be hard, just having to wait now, because this is so good. It was a good, completely fair way to end off this war game arc, our war game arc, and bridge into the next one. It kind of sucks that the entire camp thing was super skimmed over. Like, it's like, okay, we find out that they went to camp, and basically the only thing the camp was shown for was to introduce Sora. It's like, he kind of could have done that otherwise. Because it's like, pretty much the next scene, it's like, oh, they're back. They're back at home. Okay. What was the point of that? It just seemed like they could have done more there, and things could have happened maybe there. Like, the entire stuff with all the power going out and everything, the start of this blackout and everything, all of that could have very easily been done while they were at camp. Izzy could have found out about it there, I'm sure. All of that stuff could have happened at camp. I just feel like they really didn't need to go back. It just made the camp part feel like superfluous, just kind of pointless, basically. Like, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna show that this camp thing still happened, just to kind of remind you of the original series where all of this started. It's like, okay, sure, thanks, I guess. I don't know. It just, it feels like a little bit of a waste, but it's not a major deal. It's not like this massive issue. We'll just kind of have to see where this series goes in the future to really get a good feel for it. That would be the only notable complaint I would have about the series, though, so far. That would be the only real complaint I'd have. That it just felt like that was really skimmed over, and it just almost felt kind of useless. They could have introduced Sora otherwise, and that was really the only point to that entire scene at the camp. Introducing Sora and showing a little bit of Joe, which both of them could have been done otherwise. It didn't need to happen at the camp. If they weren't going to have, like, the camp be a plot point for that time, it's just like they didn't need to do it that way. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Either way. So yeah, that was the third episode, and it was very good, and I enjoyed it. But tell me in the comments below what you guys thought of episode 3 of Digimon Adventure 2020. And thank you all so much for continuing to support the channel and for continuing to tune in. So, yeah. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.